bake-off for 2019. Yes, I've decided to do it again. 21 countries, 21 bakes, and hopefully, cross fingers, this time I'll have much more success. Don't worry if you missed last season's, it's all on the YouTube channel, good, bad and indifferent bakes. So for this season, 21 countries, 21 bakes, the first one is in Australia and I am going to make some Lamingtons. So for the first time this season, let's get cooking! The first thing you need to do is preheat the oven to 190 degrees centigrade, that's gas mark 5, 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or 170 degrees if you have a fan oven. You also need to grease and flour a 20 by 30 centimetre tin. Into a bowl, sift 250 grams of plain flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Give it a little stir and then set aside until later. And also into a jug, measure out 120 millilitres of milk and set aside. Into another bowl, measure 125 grams of butter or margarine, 150 grams of caster sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then take your electric whisk and whisk until light and fluffy. Once the butter, sugar and vanilla extract are light and fluffy, you need to add 2 eggs, one at a time, and beat them in. Once the eggs have been mixed in, you then need to add the flour mixture and the milk that you set aside earlier, and you need to mix them in alternately, beating them up after each addition. Once your mixture is ready, simply pour it into your tin and then pop the tin in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. Once the cake is cooked, take it out of the oven and let it stand for 5 minutes before turning it onto a wire rack to cool completely. Leave the cake to cool for about 24 hours and then cut it into 24 pieces. Then it's time to make the icing. To make the icing, into a bowl you need to add 450 grams of icing sugar and 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now I'm not using the cocoa powder because I can't actually eat chocolate, so I'm just going to make a white icing. And then into a saucepan you need to add 120 millilitres of milk and 15 grams of butter. Put the saucepan with the milk and the butter onto your hob and heat it until the butter has melted. When the butter has melted, pour the milk and butter into the icing sugar and mix it well to make your icing. Then comes the fun bit. Take 1 square of your cake, dip it into the icing, and then roll it in coconut and put it on a wire rack to cool. Make sure there's some greaseproof paper underneath to catch the drips.